That was out.
Good call, Susanna.
Susanna has a cool job.
Step up! Step up!
She loves sports, all sports.
Yes, I'm a very, very big fan of sports. I like football, especially.
So this job is a natural. Susanna's a referee for kids soccer.
Offsides!
It's always fun to catch them offsides. Like, yes, I got you.
She's learning a lot of stuff too, like about money.
I didn't know that you seriously had to fill out a tax thing. I was like, well, I'm only 16, and they're like, well, it's for our records, and legally you do have a job. I'm like, oh, okay, well, whatever.
And Susanna's picking up all those real-world skills that everybody needs for success, like being on time.
Oh, definitely. You should probably show up a good 15 minutes, half an hour before the game, just so you can check nets and check equipment and talk with the coaches. I need 3 feet on the sideline so I don't kill anybody while I'm going for it.
Keep everybody like 3 yards off the line for her, okay?
Okay.
I think that it's important that you respect the players, and the players should respect you back.
So why is this important? Because if you're in high school, you're seriously close to being an adult, and it's time to be making some plans.
Nice game.
What am I interested in? What do I like to do? What kinds of things, really get me jiving? And then we try to help them see how what really makes them click is connected to careers, and how they can have their career be something that they really enjoy instead of just being something they do to earn money.
And while school is very important, education alone won't cut it in the job market. You'll need some hands-on experience to jumpstart your career.
It gives you a head start. When you get here, it's not going to take you so long to ramp up that learning curve. You're going to be halfway there. You're going to be ready to go running, from the start.
Where's mouse wrist?
There are lots of ways to get that running start. Your job is to focus on what works best for you and then map out a path. One way to start is to try job shadowing, where you arrange to visit a business and follow someone around for a day.
It's a really great way for them to explore careers, find out if they want to pursue it further, and then the next step would then be for them maybe to do like an internship once they get much more focused and narrowed down in their field of choice.
Internships are work-based learning opportunities. They're arranged between schools, employers, and students, and they generally last for 1 quarter or for the summer. Ollie, a student at Mountlake Terrace High School, spent several weeks as a summer intern at Boeing.
The reason I especially want is because they work with the airplanes, and I was very interested in airplanes, how they make them and fly this huge thing.
Like other internships, Boeing's program offers planned learning activities and an opportunity to experience work firsthand.
We've looked at bringing students in, doing some manufacturing skills, the blueprints, the tool familiarization. We also are very key on team building. We're key on problem solving. We also start to take academics and relate it to the world of work, which is a very important part.
For Ollie, the internship gave him a chance to practice disclosing his disability and asking for accommodations.
When first they told me that I'm gonna get this internship, I asked them how about accommodations and how it is for the wheelchair disabled person, and they said it's pretty accessible. It's for airplanes and cars can go in that huge company, so yeah, it was pretty accessible, and the people there were very friendly.
Sometimes internships lead to job offers.
Having students come and get excited and look at the type of things that manufacturing has to offer, that instills that work ethic in them, and they want to come out and do it. I've had managers say, look, I'd like 500 kids just like this one, and this is fantastic, bring them all in, because they're doing such a wonderful job.
Now, if you're going to be the one they notice, you'll have to make a good impression right from the beginning. Raleigh, an athlete and honor student who has a learning disability, has had a number of successful job interviews.
Make sure you wear a shirt and tie, or if you don't have a shirt and tie, just make yourself presentable, and always have a positive attitude when you're going to look for a job, Make sure you have your resume or whatever with you, with everything in it, and just come with it at a respectable way to your boss man or the whoever you're going to see.
Raleigh's a senior at Rogers High School in Spokane. He spent a whole summer getting up at 4:30 in the morning so that he could get to his job at Agilent Technologies. He says it was definitely worth it.
It was a pretty fun and cool experience for me because, for one, I never did anything like that, and I thought it was pretty cool. Everybody was, you know what I'm saying, quite polite to me, and I made a lot of friends and stuff like that. So.
It's a win for the students and for the company. We like to find the best and brightest and have them come work for us during the summers and hopefully convert them when they graduate. And if they do, then they've already got that summer experience where they can hit the ground running right after they start working for us.
Besides that valuable job experience, you'll also learn some time management skills, something every student can use.
If it's something I want to do bad enough, I make sure I have time to do it. Like, for instance, I wanted to go to school and work. So therefore, I worked out a schedule to where I can go to school part-time and work part-time.
Once they're 16, research has shown that students who work about 12 to 15 hours a week actually do better in school. And I think it's because of time management. They don't have from 3 until 9 o'clock at night just be footloose and fancy free. They have to go to work from, say, 3:30 to 7, and so when they get home they only have 2 hours to get their homework done, so they actually sit down and do their homework instead of thinking, oh, I'll get to it, I'll get to it, I'll get to it, and then they don't.
So, where do you start? The best place is the Career Center at your school, or if there isn't one, then the Guidance or Counseling Center.
My advice to students about the Career Center is the Career Information Specialist needs to become their best friend.
You will already receive some credit for some of these classes with your internship at Boeing that you did this last summer.
Holly found his internship through the Career Center, and that's how Raleigh got his job too. But you have to use the resources there to make it happen.
We get new information all the time, so I suggest they try and stop at least once a month. We have tons of resources they can go through. They can get on the computer. We have different assessments they can take, scholarship information, military apprenticeship programs. Plus, I have a lot of information on helping them find a job, what they need to do, how to get together their resumes, things like that.
You can also search the internet for resources, either at school, at the library, or at home. If you have a disability, you may need an accommodation in order to do your job effectively. Ty, for example, needs to reach files that are over her head.
Actually, in the interview, they didn't say anything at all. They didn't even bring it up at all. It was during the orientation when she mentioned about high shelves. She said, "We will order you a step stool, but I don't ever want to catch you on a chair." So, and they did. They actually had me a step stool there by my second day of work.
Disclosing your disability is your choice. But if you're going to need an accommodation to get the job done, it's your responsibility to request it. If you're not sure how to talk to an employer about your disability or about accommodations, your school counselor can give you some ideas.
That's part of my role too, not only to educate the employers and the business people about students with disabilities and how to work with them, but to also help students learn how to talk to business people to self-advocate so that they can make those kinds of accommodations available for themselves.
Check out community resources too. Ty found her first job through the Department of Vocational Rehabilitation. It was with a theater group, and she discovered that she loves acting.
I plan to take some more drama classes and eventually get a master's degree in performance production because I love to write and I love to direct things a lot.
This is Dog.
Right now, Ty is studying to be a sign language interpreter with plans for a second master's degree in education. Her job at the Hearing, Speech, and Deafness Center is giving her some great work experience at the same time.
Well, she gets to be here and actually to sign with deaf staff, and I think that we've seen really good possibilities.
Don't forget your parents either. They may be your best resource. After all, they've been working for years.
What does it mean to be on time for work, and what is a lunch hour, and how do you take a break, and how do you get prepared to talk to your boss about a day off? You have something you need to do and you can't come into work because it's so important to maintain your job. It's hard to get one, but you also have to work to keep it. And so we talked about that a lot.
My mom always asked, and sometimes I didn't want her help and she still asked, and we got in some arguments, but in the end it all came out because whenever I needed help I could just go, "Hey Mom, help me out," and she'd help me out. And until this day, she still helps me out with a lot of stuff. It's nice.
There you go.
If you're willing to listen, you can learn a lot. Susanna's stepdad was a professional soccer player, and he's been a big help.
There are lots of tips, so I get a little bit better experience than she has, and I'm trying to do and help her out because it's needed. And everybody wants to do the best, so as a referee, I can tell her where are the tricks, what you should do and what you should not do.
Okay, now, it's time to get started. Make your plans, gather your resources, and go. If you'd like a roadmap, you can use the CAREERS acronym developed by the Do It program at the University of Washington. C is for careers. Think about what interests you. Be imaginative, then narrow it down. A is for academics. Determine which academic programs best suit your career goals. R is for research. Research careers that spark your interests, maximize your strengths, and minimize your weaknesses. EE is for experiential education. Practice job search skills. Apply for internships. Ask for informational interviews and try other work-based learning opportunities. RS is for relevant skills. Use on-the-job experience to learn practical real-world skills. Apply what you've learned in school to the workplace. Test which accommodations work best for you. And remember, it's your life. It's time to start deciding what you want to do with it and make that happen.
I suggest you should always reach for your goals and don't ever let anybody stop you no matter what, because you can do whatever you want if you put your mind to it.
For more information, contact Do It on the World Wide Web, all in lowercase with no spaces, www.washington.edu/DOIT. Phone, voice or TTY, area code 206-685-DOIT. Address, Do It, University of Washington, Box 354842, Seattle, Washington, 98195-4842. Director, Cheryl Bergstaller, Ph.D. The content of this videotape was developed with funding from the U.S. Department of Education, grant number H324M990010. However, the content does not necessarily represent the policy of the Department of Education, and you should not assume endorsement by the federal government. Copyright 2001, University of Washington.